A very good morning to you and welcome to Morning Informant. Today being a Monday, and that is 21st of March 2022. My name is Christine Mutindi.
And my name is Gonjo Maina. A very, very good morning. And Christine, today being 140 days to the general election.
Yes.
Of course, that is approximately 5 months.
5 months.
So that is the time remaining for us to go and know who is who. And of course, as we've been telling them, it's all right to vote. But at the same time, because we don't want to complain any longer, because we've always complained that we put politicians in office rather than leaders. And that is why we are calling out each and every person come the 9th of August 2022, that is this year. And that is 140 days from now.
Yes.
Wake up, go and vote for your leader, not your politician.
Yes, and maybe you tell us your name and Gonjo Maina and
yes,
how you can
and
get to us.
Yes, and of course my name is Gonjo Maina, and our social media handles, Christine, maybe.
Our social media handles are at Shani TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram.
And our platform number is 0706083050. That is the number you can use to join in our conversation today, being #Political Monday.
And now, being Political Monday, maybe we talk about the Deputy Governor for West Pokot. After 1 month into election, into office, he went to the United States of America. But he came back last week, and now he wants to be the governor of West Pokot. And his name is Atudonian. Yes.
And of course, being his right. So what actually we need to understand, what exactly was he told while in America? What exactly did he learn from a third area? Because actually we've got that freedom. Even today, we just want to become the president. If you've qualified, you will.
That is okay, but the problem is 1 week after going into office, you were elected into office to serve the people.
Sure.
Will you serve them from West Pokot? From USA to West Pokot?
Not really.
You cannot serve them virtually. So this is what we are saying when it comes to elections. Yes, we understand that maybe because some of the claims were that he could not work with the governor, and that is John Lonyangapuo. But now the question is, why leave?
And maybe he had just planned about it before he was, he was put in office. You cannot know. Some plans cannot be postponed.
Well, and on that note, maybe we get to our dailies, because I know that argument will take 6 hours, and I will need to be here at that time. And on the front page of the Daily Nation, we have crowds for hire, and this is democracy on sale. And a Daily Nation and NTV investigation reveals shocking details of the normalization of hirelings on the campaign trail, and how politicians will do anything to create false impressions of popularity, including using photo and video editing software to distort rally numbers. This is a story on page 12 and 13 of the Daily Nation. Well, I know, of course, you know that it has been happening. It's only that now we have never had the truth of the evidence to prove it most of the time. And now just looking at some of the numbers right here, and that is in terms of campaigns, 200,000 Kenya shillings is the amount of money youth leader John Juma gets for organizing youths for politician. And 500 Kenya shillings is the least amount of money each youth is paid to attend a political rally. So this is like a job. You're going in the morning and you leave in the evening after the rally is over. And our politicians are hiring crowds to attend rallies in a brazen rat race and to project popularity. And the scheme is carried out by a well-organized underground network of political mobilizers and is oiled using billions of shillings from questionable sources. On the rank and file of party structure, the investigation found out is aware of mobilization drives, and the road extends across political divides. And right here on page 12 of the Daily Nation, we have a photo of a youth armed with a stone and attempts to block Deputy President William Ruto's motorcade from accessing Kondele roundabout in Kisumu on November 10th, 2021. And this is just what people do, and this mostly the youth, paid as little as 500 Kenya shillings to attend a rally. And a politician is a very conniving person. He's never got to an area where people have money and are educated. He treats those people as his enemy. Those who can't even afford soap are politicals' best target. And this is according to John Juma, who's just saying this. And I will take the money and use it, but I will not vote. I only do this for money. And this is Juma is from Kibera, and of course he is a political mobilizer as well. And we have a story here. Former Subukia MP Koigi Wamwere, who gained popularity for opposing the Kenyatta and Moi regimes, says money spoke a different language to people at the time. People went there without a single cent, and some came out with 100,000 Kenya shillings. Some even got 500,000 from money. From shillings. Money did the talking for Moi's disciples. And this just shows that this story started a long time back.
Sure.
From Moi's regime. Yes.
It's something that has actually been continuing, just that we've come to realize it maybe when it's too late. But at the same time, it doesn't mean, I think it is something that has been realized a long time ago. It's only that people just decided to keep it silent.
Not really. I think right now it's being done openly. And that's why we are able to see. It was there, but it was not being done in open space.
So it used to be hidden.
Yes, because I remember there's a time we saw a video that was trending of youth who were donned in Jubilee shirts, and there was voting. I think it was during the by-elections. And they were receiving money as they enter the gate to go and vote. So this just shows it is being done openly now. At that time, maybe it used to be done behind closed doors.
I think it's only that people have just decided to be open enough right now, because, but it doesn't mean that you have actually started 2022. It's something that has been there for a long time, because I'm sure most of people, for example, if a politician just comes during the campaigns, the first thing they ask is, what do you have that is in terms of money? What are you offering us? They are, like right now, people are not just interested maybe in t-shirts only, and maybe in those lessons and the rest of the things and flyers and the like, but they also need some cash.
And unfortunately, I also remember during the plane that was carrying Saitoti, at that time, he was going for a campaign, right? But now, in that accident, we saw large sums of money were burnt. Okay, and some notes were even burnt halfway. And it's such a tragic situation that we remember. But again, there was a lot of money. So you ask yourself, what was the money for? If not for giving to some of these fans who have come to attend the rally. Yes. But
I think campaigns use money. It's only that actually the money sometimes is used for the wrong purpose.
It's used for the wrong purpose because you realize that sometimes during a campaign we have the rowdy people. Okay, so there, of course, some of them are paid to cause scuffles. Okay.
You see, so why should you be paid to do the wrong thing? Why can't you just, if you don't have unga, just say I need 500 shillings. I buy my unga, I go home. But now if someone tells you, I'm paying you 300 shillings, 700 shillings, go and cause chaos in this meeting. Why? You see, that person is not there. It's all for your own good. You're just endangering your life as a person.
And this just shows that at some point, our democracy, we are not politically mature to handle some of these things, because even if it comes to campaigns, any candidate is free to visit any state or any county or any constituency without fear of being intimidated or being attacked by anyone. And that this just shows that we as a country are still back when it comes to political maturity and in terms of democracy as well. Yes.
Because we live in a country where there is freedom of movement, freedom of speech, of course, freedom, that is freedom of expression. You can just, as long as you're not offending the other person, you have the right to speak out whatever you have.
And sell your manifesto as well. Yes.
But sometimes you take the advantage and you say, because you're not supporting her, we're not supporting you, you're not supposed to come to our place.
Or maybe because you're not from our tribe, then you're not supposed to come, which is wrong.
Very wrong. And maybe if we take the front page of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have root on numbers, mates versus reality. And of Rift Valley, Deputy President perceived political bedrock is cosmopolitan, with various communities showing allegiance to different national leaders. However, Azimio and Kenya Kwanza have not given the region adequate attention. And this is a story on the pages 6 and 7 in the Standard newspaper this morning, with page 6 saying that demystifying Rift Valley's vote numbers. No one has area locked. And we have the Kenya's Rift Valley region is a rich political cocktail, and this cosmos of the entire Kenyan nation has ties that would ordinarily bind clusters of populations while also distinguishing each from the rest. And of course, we have a content table of the registered voters in Rift Valley region, led by the Nakuru County up to Samburu County, that has the list with 82,787 number of voters. And of course, we also have another table still on the page 6 of the Standard newspaper with Uhuru versus Raila, that is the pastoralist vote 2017, that is in our previous general elections. And we have all communities in the country are domiciled in the region, either as permanent residents of or temporary migrant wage workers, and we have they bring with them political inclinations by diverse communities from elsewhere in the country. And for the front runners, that is Dr. William Ruto and Mr. Raila Odinga, must come to terms with this reality in their stamps and barnstorms across the country. And this story has been very much well broken down with a punchline that says, in today's drift towards devolved marginal political parties, it is curious that little by way of presidential campaigns is going on in this region that is outside Nakuru, Narok and Kajiado. Our story is well accompanied by the dominant parties, that is in the page 6 and 7 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
And on my side, we have a story on the front page by the Deputy President that says, I'll guard your wealth. And this is an assurance to the President. And just a punchline here. And ICC, we've been through many challenges together, including facing the International Criminal Court cases at The Hague. And this is what the Deputy President is saying to the President. And this is a story on page 5 of the Daily Nation, where the Deputy President William Ruto yesterday regretted that President Uhuru Kenyatta had wrongly judged him as someone who would not protect his interests after retirement. Addressing Kenya Kwanza Alliance supporters in Murang'a County, Deputy President said he would not betray the friendship he has cultivated with President Kenyatta for more than 2 decades. We've been through many challenges together, including facing the ICC cases at The Hague. We faced Mr. Raila Odinga together in 2002, 2013 and twice in 2017. It was a mistake to alienate me for Mr. Odinga. And this is what the Deputy President said. And just to add on, my greatest shock was that even if he felt I was not fit to succeed him, certainly by settling on Mr. Odinga, who had given us all sorts of political problems, was the height of betrayal. Now, the Deputy President also assured President Kenyatta that if elected, he would protect his legacy and that of his family. His allies, however, accused the President and his strategists of capturing the national economy, alleging that it's now being controlled by cartels and brokers. And they said the end result has been an economy that favors the rich, with the middle class now bearing the cruel effects of taxation. Dr. Ruto also vowed to deliver the economy from the exclusive club capture and hand it over to Kenyans, where all will enjoy equal opportunities. Now, this is a story on page 5 of the Daily Nation.
And still on the front page of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have why Uhuru snapped the launch of key DCI lab, and it was the president's signature project in the security sector, and he was expected to commission it only for the plan to be dropped at the last minute, with claims of fighting over procurement of equipment. And this story has been detailed in the page 11 of the Standard newspaper this morning, that is under a headline that says why Uhuru snapped launch of DCI lab. Now, President Uhuru Kenyatta's change of plan after he was expected to commission the new DCI lab at the DCI headquarters on February 28th has yielded talk, and the 4 billion Kenya shilling forensic laboratory in Kiamburu, that is Nairobi, is one of the legacy projects the president is expected to commission before he leaves office after election. And as we have just said, that is 5 months only. And a week to this grand day, DCI headquarters was a hive of activity with all plans in place for the event, and even invitation cards that is has been out so far, and but the event was cancelled at the 11th hour, that is the last minute, and no official explanation as to why the president did not attend the event has been given, that is considering the date has been agreed on 3 months earlier. And this story is very much well broken down on the page 11, that is the national page 11 of the Standard and newspaper this morning.
And on the front page of the Daily Nation, we have a story about education, and this is how KCSE tests leaked despite Magoha's repeated assurances. And this is a story on the back page on Ngonjo. Maybe we look at it. And now fraudsters working in cohorts with crooked education and security officials have been implicated in cases of cheating in the ongoing KCSE examination. The crooks obtain the contents of the examinations when the materials are collected from the distribution centers early in the morning and share them within their networks through social media platforms. Now, the DCI investigations yesterday said they had cracked a syndicate arrested 4 college students involved in the sale of question papers. The agency blamed the breaches on an elaborate web of fraudsters comprising school heads, security agents, parents, and college students. And now the detectives said some containers are opened before the official time, and that is 6:30 a.m. to gain access to the examination materials, which are then sent to the crooks who sell the papers for as low as 500 Kenya shillings. And some of them charge 5,000 Kenya shillings per paper, or a discounted rate of 20,000 Kenya shillings for the whole examination. And now the main suspect has been identified as Gideon Kibet Tanui, alias Ivrans Kipruto, who is an information technology student at Baringo Technical College. He was arrested in his rented room next to the college on the first day of the exams. At the time, he was distributing English paper, which was in session, and chemistry paper 1, which was scheduled for mid-morning. Mr. Kibet led detectives to his accomplice, Mr. Kevin Kiprotich Langat, a Bachelor of Arts student at Rongo University. Mr. Langat, in turn, led detectives to Justice Letting, a first-year student at the university. He was arrested as he distributed the Kiswahili paper. He was also preparing answers for the chemistry practical paper that was scheduled for the next day. And this is what just Mr. Letting was saying. We could not independently establish whether the chemistry paper, the DCI, sorry, was saying, we could not independently establish whether the chemistry paper Mr. Letting was caught with was the exact one the candidates sat on Friday. And now, shockingly, Letting's mobile phone had the entire KCSE examination material, the entire paper.
That is from paper 1
from
to
paper
the
1
last
to
paper.
the last paper, even the practicals. Yes. And although the fraudsters promised would be biased, that they have all the examination materials, the DCI has established that they only begin to the distribution moments before or just after 8 a.m. Okay?
Yes.
And this is just one of the stories. And the college students work out the answers and share them with those who pay. One Telegram group that has 5,800 members was sharing examination photos for free last week as the paper was in session. And the DCI has warned that they are analyzing all the subscribers to the suspect Telegram and WhatsApp group for action. And NEC Chief Executive David Njagere refuted claims that the examinations had leaked and blamed some crooked officials in its administration of the reported cases of malpractice. Now, this is quite an interesting story on the back page of the Daily Nation.
And on the line of education, in the front page of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have Magoha bans phones in exam centers. There is a story in the learning page 14 on the Standard newspaper, with only 2 phones will be allowed in exam centers. And the Education Secretary, that is Professor George Magoha, has said only phones will be allowed in exam centers across the country. And the CS said only the center manager and the security officer manning the ongoing Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination, that is the KCSE, will be allowed to access the centers with their mobile phones. And so far, Professor Amagoha continued, and of course, I directly quote whatever he said. He said that our team of investigators are on the ground and will effect the measures accordingly. And this is what the CS spoke while on an inspection tour of the school to monitor the construction of the new CBC classrooms. And of course, we have his punchline that says we arrested 20 teachers and confiscated 60 phones in one center, and the cheating is happening after containers are opened.
So this means that the containers are opened before 6:30.
Sure.
And that is where they are able to even take photos of the exam. But now how do they seal them again? Because the papers have to be confirmed if the paper is sealed.
And that, I think they don't get to open the container early and just take the images, because you can't, but unless they open and then you just wrap it again, which is not possible, because I think they have even the serial numbers and a place where the student is supposed to sign whether the exam was opened or not.
But now how do they access that? Because it is quite shocking that this is still happening, and in conjunction with even some of the officials of the NEC and the people responsible for carrying the keys to the container.
Sure. Yes. And I think, because I think these examinations have been set by people like Christine and Gonjo, of course, and I think whoever sets the exam, okay, I've got no idea, I'm not that much well informed on that, but I think whoever sets the exams, they're just the normal human beings in that case. But I also wonder how the examinations get to leak until the university students and that is college students can access the whole paper that is from English to the practicals, that is in chemistry, biology and physics.
Yes, but I think maybe they look at it, it's like business, because they think if I spend 20,000 and I make more than that in a span of, let's say, hours, because you're selling the paper that has the answers.
Sure.
So that means,
so the paper has the answers?
Yes, the university students are working out the answers, and then they send the paper with the answers. So
your work is to just cram?
You just write.
I thought it's the questions only and you just forced to go for the answer. So it's the question and the answer.
It's the question and the answer, because according to this story right here in the Daily Nation, one student was caught working out the chemistry practical answers. So you go into a practical exam and you already know the titration. I remember, the only thing I can remember from chemistry practical is titration.
You see, the funniest thing about it is you just enter the lab and you just script all the answers, and then you start mixing things.
Yes,
only
of course.
to show the invigilators that you're doing something.
Yeah, because because the invigilator will come and stand beside you, and then maybe you asked if this metal burns with a blue flame, what metal is that? Is it? I remember effervescence. You remember that?
That is the production of bubbles.
Bubbles, yes. You remember something that had effervescence. So when you know all those answers, then you just write and you start burning the metal for fun.
Of course, you enter the exam.
Done with the paper.
You enter the exam room. That is the lab. Even before scripting your name, you have already drawn the graph.
Yes.
And people wonder how. How do you know even you've not even done anything. Your specimen, everything about that is supposed to use is there on the table.
Exactly.
But you have already drawn the graph. You know how it goes. You see. But I think even to the ones who are selling the examination, they've got a very hard time, because I'm just trying to imagine with all the insecurities, of course, they're feeling, because they know they're doing the wrong thing, and then you have to work out all the answers correctly. But I think sometimes, you see, they cannot sell something that is fake, but people can in this country.
People can, and that's why they're being called fraudsters, because some of them are actually releasing the paper after 8 a.m. just when the exam has started.
And how will the examination help the ones with the paper?
That is why the DCI is saying that it is a syndicate, from the teachers to the parents to the security agents. You see, because maybe I have paid my security agent to buy for me the paper, and I am a candidate. So when it is ready, he will just call me out. You know, he's a security agent and he's manning the exam, so he will call out, Christine Mutindi, please come outside. And maybe I go to the toilet and I'm given the phone that has the answers. So once I remember, maybe I write somewhere and I come back and I sit and write. You see.
So you're forced to cram the whole chemistry paper to paper?
Not necessarily cram. I'm sure, I don't know.
You can't even you can be able to tell it.
I don't know, and maybe because it is 29 minutes past 7 a.m. It is about that time that we look at the situation in our roads this morning, Gonjo. And of course, we like to inform you on how the traffic is and the incidents in the roads. This is to enable you to get to work in a very good situation, and right here at Morning Informant. Now remember, our Facebook page is always open for you, and our social media handles at Shani TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram. We just want to know where you're watching us from. How are you feeling this Monday morning? Where are you headed to work? Have you not yet left work? And we get to sample all those things right here on Morning Informant.
And of course, our platform number as always is 0706 083 050. Remember, you can join in our conversation. Of course, you can help us get you feedback as well in the program. And of course, just to remind you, today is hashtag Political Monday.
Today is hashtag Political Monday. We like to just look at the situation, and that is politically in Kenya here, and because now we are 140 days to the general elections. Yes. And we start off at Jogo Road, and I can see that at Stadium Road, it seems to be a little bit moving. It is slowly moving, and there is no traffic on that side. As you approach the city stadium roundabout, and there is no traffic on that area. And now just continuing down, still on Jogo Road, and this is on the way to town. At Njiwa Road, there is also movement there. It is slow but moving on that side. It is not a continuous red line like the other days where we have continuous red lines. But when you get to Donholm Subway, Donholm Railway Subway, there is a continuous red line, and this is on the way to town, the connection to Outer Ring Road. It is a continuous red line there. This is an indication that there is traffic on that side, and also on the other side of Donholm Savannah Road, still connecting to Outer Ring Road, it is a continuous red line. And now this is on both sides, going to town and coming from town. So there is traffic there as well. It is a continuous red line on that side. Still on Outer Ring Road, there is traffic snarl up as well. It is a continuous red line on that side as well.
Yes, and to the ones who are using the Thika superhighway this morning, there is traffic all the from the driving area that is both on the highway side and on the service line as well. This morning, of course, today is on Monday. A lot of people are actually trying to access the CBD, and of course, the traffic continues up to the Pangani area this morning with a little bit with opening up partially, but of course, it's a continuous maroon and red line, an indicator of how hectic it is this morning. Of course, and to the ones using the Kiambu Road this morning, any area from Karula closed, there is traffic to the town, and from town as well, there is traffic on the same spot. And as you come to join the Muranga Road this morning, it's very possible until you reach the Kia area, and of course at the Globe flyover there is traffic as well, but as you approach Moi Avenue from the Slip Road side of it, it's passable this morning.
And looking at Eastern Bypass, I can see some indications of partial red lines, continuous red lines. So it seems like it's holding on, it's getting tight, then moving on again. And at Kibiku Road, there is a red line there that shows that there is traffic on that side, and this is going to Ruai area and also going to connect to Mombasa Road. At Kibiku Road, there is traffic there as well, and as you move ahead a little bit, there is a red line. So this looks like the traffic is slowly moving, then at times it's stagnant on Eastern Bypass, because we have partial red lines on that area as well, and all the way to Airport North Road we also have partial red lines as well. This shows indications of traffic all the way up to the connection of Cabanas roundabout. There is traffic as well, and that is on Eastern Bypass.
And of course, to the ones who are using the Limuru Road this morning, there is traffic on your way to town and from town in the 6th Parklands Avenue area, that is maybe near the Regal House. And of course, as you approach town, the traffic congestion is all the way until you reach the Steamer Plaza. And of course, at the Aga Khan Hospital Junction as well, there is traffic on your way to town. But from town, it's not that hectic because it's partially moving. That is on the Limuru Road. But as you come to approach the Forest Lane, very much passable this morning. The only another area that it has actually a traffic issue is on the City Park Road, so it's partially moving.
And of course, on Mombasa Road, we're just looking at an accident there where a canter has overturned at Mombasa Road. And this is coming in right now. And this is in Mombasa Road, just as you get to Syokimau, a canter has overturned right there. And that means that there is going to be a little bit of traffic on Mombasa Road. And this is close to Syokimau, where a canter has overturned. No fatalities have been reported, but we will keep you updated on all that as it is coming in. So this means that there is going to be a little bit of traffic on Mombasa Road, so you have to be careful as well as motorists as you also go to work. Ensure that you are safe as well. And now, still looking at Mombasa Road, we seem to have a little bit of traffic on Syokimau. And this is just before you get to Syokimau is where the canter has overturned. So there is traffic after where the accident has happened. And also before you get to that also, there is traffic there as well. And this is just coming in right now. We'll keep you updated on that accident there on Mombasa Road.
And on the side of Langata Road this morning, any area of the area from that is the southern bypass flyover that is on Langata Road this morning, there is traffic all the way up to until you reach the Langata Primary. And of course, at the Amref area, there is a little bit traffic, though has actually opened up. It's flowing on the area. And of course, near the Sunshine Secondary School, moving as well. But as you approach the Wilson Airport, of course, there is traffic as usual on that area on your way to town. But from town, not traffic at all. As you approach Mbagathi way this morning, it's very much passable until some areas near the mosque area. As you come as well to approach the Valley Road, very much passable. Kenyatta Avenue this morning, no traffic at all, though some small traffic here and there, but Valley Road and Kenyatta Avenue, it's very passable, and that is partially passable.
And now on that note, we take our fast break, but do not go far. We will be right back with more on Morning Informant.
Live in a beach life city, enjoying coastal lifestyle with a cool breeze and ocean tides as you watch the sunset. In Malindi, touching the Kilifi Watamu bypass, sitting just 100 meters off the white sandy beach in a gated and controlled development next to Malaika Beach Hotel. Finca Properties Limited offers you a 50 by 100 plot for only 1.5 million shillings. Electricity and water is available on site. This property is ideal for residential homes, cottages, holiday homes and hotels. For inquiries, bookings and reservations, SMS the word plot to 40309 or call us on 0721 737 300 or visit our website at www.finca.co.ke. Come to our offices in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Title deeds are ready. Finca Properties Limited, prime and affordable.
Welcome back to Morning Informant. And before we went on break, Ngonjo, we were just sampling through our roads this morning. And this is to ensure that you get to work very safely, of course. And we tell you how the roads look like. So if it's possible, you can reroute. You can actually to get to work faster. And because we are still getting the updates, and we'll keep you, we'll continue updating you on the roads. But now it's time we look at those comments that are coming in through our Facebook page. And of course, on my Facebook page, I have Chege Steve. Good morning, my informants. Christine, how are you? I am very, very fine, Steve. Say hi to Ngonjo. Malindi to Kondani Yasho.
Yes, hi to, of course. I hope you find I'm fine as well.
Yes, thank you very much. And I have someone else here on our Twitter handle who's saying, Eastern Bypass, karibu na AP, tuko bumper to bumper. Okay.
Yes, that is interesting. And of course, on my side,
Yes.
this morning, I have good morning, Christine and Gonzo. I'm watching you guys in Nairobi. That is, of course, Wangige is called, of course, Wangige Martin. Of course, thank you very much for that. And I have another person who is saying, good morning, morning informant. Limuru tuko locked in. That is a Jane from Limuru.
And now those are just some of the comments that are coming in. Please keep them coming because we always like to hear from you and just get to know how you are, where you're watching us from. Yes, and maybe we continue in our dailies this morning and we look at elections and Nakuru wards attracting PhD holders for MCA races. And this is quite interesting. If Dr. Jackson Kinyanjui, who recently resigned from his lecturer job to vie for Biashara Ward rep seat, wins the race, he would become the second person with his kind of background to sit in Nakuru County Legislature. Ahead of him is Dr. Peter Mbai, the MCA of Kabazi Ward, who made headlines for his hardline defense of his people following the 2018 Patel Dam burst in Solai that killed nearly 48 people and left 2,500 other people injured. And now, like Dr. Kinyanjui, who quit a well-paying job at Laikipia University to run for MCA, Dr. Mbaye says the bug to serve people is stronger than staying in an office job. And he's just saying that it was not easy to leave his job, but he was able to do that. And this seems like Nakuru Ward MCAs have are PhD holders. This means that they are educated leaders.
Of course.
Yes.
They are very much well informed as well.
Yes, and this is a story on page 3 of the Daily Nation. And this just shows the need to serve people. In as much as someone is educated and they would sit and have a white collar job, a 9 to 5 normal job. They choose to represent the people, and this just shows passion. Yes.
And of course, on my side, on the national page 3, Christine, we have the young, famous, and African show promises love, drama, and soft life. Of course, this thing has been trending, and it's about the series features a musician Diamond Platnumz and his ex-wife, that is Zari Hassan, as they navigate through co-parenting. And of course, viewers will catch a glimpse of the lavish, glamorous side of Africa that has been missing on television. This is a story on the page 3 of the Standard newspaper this morning.
And the reason I'm smiling is because I read some comments on Twitter yesterday, and people were saying that Diamond has murdered English in that show.
Of course, it was murdering in quotes, just trying to show how, of course, he killed it indirectly. Because from the way he actually was speaking it, and of course, the uttering part of it as well. Of course, I had to look at the clip, of course, and it went viral.
Yes, and I'm just imagining how people are keen out there to just notice everything that someone says.
Of course.
So as long as you are there, you have to be really careful how you represent yourself, because that says a lot about you. Don't go around murdering English.
Of course.
If you're not comfortable speaking English, you can as well use another language.
But you think you can also murder any other language, including your mother tongue?
Yeah, you realize that you can.
Yes,
there
is a possibility. Some of us can even kill your mother tongues. You can kill Swahili, English, French, any other language. It's all about you just speak whatever you're familiar with.
But I'm sure there's a language that you're comfortable expressing yourself in, other than just because I couldn't stop laughing when I was reading those comments that are coming in, and they were quite funny.
Of course, they are funny.
Yes, and now we look at another story here where we have a crisis, and air pollution increases risk of diseases. This is according to a research, and that shows over 9,000 people were diagnosed with different autoimmune diseases. This is a story on page 2 of the Daily Nation, where a study established a link between air pollution and autoimmune diseases. Now, these are diseases caused by an attack of healthy cells by the body's immune system, which is ideally meant to fight infections. The study, conducted by researchers from the University of Verona in Italy, established a link between air pollution and autoimmune diseases. More than 9,000 people were diagnosed with different autoimmune diseases between 2016 and 2020, and the number represents about 12% of the study participants. As over 80,000 people were enrolled. Now, the autoimmune diseases identified as rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, systemic lupus, and erythematosus, inflammatory bowel diseases, and connective tissue diseases like osteoarthritis. And the researchers used data on air quality between 617 stations in 110 Italian provinces. This is a story on page 2 of the Daily Nation.
And of course, on the national page 10 of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have Kenya has a yellow fever outbreak, and this is out to deal with cases. Of course, on March 5th this year, Kenya declared an outbreak of yellow fever in Isiolo County. That is after the death of 3 people, and more than 20 people were reported to have contracted the deadly viral disease in Isiolo in the previous month, and now counties bordering Isiolo were placed in the high risk bracket. And of course, it is estimated that 47 countries, not counties, but countries in the world, 34 in Africa and 13 in Central and South America are actually susceptible to yellow fever. The disease is endemic in tropical areas of these regions. And if maybe I can just quote this, in Africa, the burden was actually estimated in over 9 years ago to be between 84,000 and 170,000 cases, and 29,000 to 60,000 death cases. And most of the world's yellow fever cases have been reported in West and East Africa. And so far, 55 people have been infected with yellow fever in Kerio Valley. 55 people are infected with yellow fever in Kerio Valley, and that is approximately like that is in 1992 and 1993. At the time, 34 people died. Of course, this story is as well accompanied by risk factor that is as well broken down on the same page 10 of the Standard newspaper this morning under the explainer.
And now, on that note, before we get to the county news, I need to just look at a cartoon right here that shows party hoppers. It has 2 sides. On the left side, we have UDA party emblem, and that is the wheelbarrow with the UDA colors, that is green and yellow. And on the right side, we have ODM party leaders Raila Odinga emblem, and that is the R with blue and orange. And in the middle, it is like a hill that has a hole in the and a cavement in the middle. And we have party hoppers, and now they are hanging on both sides. And they are trying to hold on to the right side and the left side as well, but they cannot. And one shoe has already fallen off. This is an indication that they are struggling to hold on to any of the parties. So definitely looks like they're going to fall. Yes.
There is a possibility, as from
there is a possibility, yes. And on that note, we move to county news on page 21 of the Daily Nation, where we have Kadu, a silly leader, quits and joins PAA. Just the photo that we were looking at. And this is in Mombasa. Kadu Asili leader Gerald Dhoya has ditched the party for Kilifi Governor Amason Kingi's Pamoja African Alliance Party, citing lack of democracy and frustration. Political parties thrive depending on their leadership. I wanted to transform the party, which some members resisted because they could not appreciate the changes that I wanted to bring. And this is a punchline by Mr. Thoya. And this is also in connection to the photo that we just saw, because we keep saying right here on Morning Informant that this year we're going to see so many party hopping.
Sure.
From one party to the other. Yes, and also last week, Jubilee received over 20 members, new members, some of who ditched UDA party and other parties to join Jubilee party. Yes.
And exactly in that, as from yesterday's, of course, acted as a blow, because with members ditching one party and to another party, of course, it's kind of a blow. Of course, as you've just said, hoping, of course, from one party to another, because we are only 5 months to general elections, so every person is just trying to look for the best and better party for him.
Yes. And this is a story on page 21 of the Daily Nation. And
on the page 21 of the Standard newspaper, we have the Standard County News, of course, with battle to rehabilitate a degraded old town to modern waterfront. And it's a story about the former old town, that is Mombasa. I was famed for its neat, narrow streets. And we have a boat ride along the old town shoreline from Fort Jesus Museum to Madubaha Beach reveals a sorry state of affairs as mounds of waste spot areas near the Indian Ocean waters, and the litter easily gets into the ocean water beneath the long cliff that and actually pollutes it. And we have the water around the old town shore is black. And of course, from the image that I have here, if I can just try to explain it, we have scenes from the ocean water showing the degraded sections of all the town shoreline, and we have someone inside who is actually said to be the founder of Old Town Residents Association. Of course, the water from the image I have, it's very dirty. From if I can just try to explain it as well with some coatings of black thing that I'm just trying to think it's the pollution itself. And of course, we have a punchline that says we'll have a dedicated thaw cruise serving largely Swahili delicacies prepared by Old Town mothers and sold exclusively on the thaw for cruisers during lunch and dinner. That is a punchline on the same. And this is a story of battle to rehabilitate a degraded old town to modern waterfront. A story on the page 21, very much detailed on that page.
And on the page 22 of the Daily Nation, we have a story from Murang'a County where police hunt tout who tore a 1,000 Kenya shilling banknote from a male passenger. And he's said to have committed the offense yesterday morning along the Murang'a to Maragua Road. And he tore it into two while threatening to beat up the passenger and demanded that the passenger parts with 4,000 Kenya shillings or he hands him over to the police. But other passengers intervened. The passengers also compelled the tout to return the banknote to the man since he had pocketed it as he demanded to be given genuine cash. Now, upon alighting the matatu, the passenger went to report to the police station and Mr. Shikondi said the intention, and this Mr. Shikondi is the area police boss Alexander Shikondi. He confirmed that the note was genuine, and he said that they are pursuing him and have identified the number plates of the vehicle he was manning and its attached circle. And because once the passenger alighted, he reported the case to Maragua police station where officers authenticated the banknote and found it to be genuine. This is a sad story on page 22 of the Daily Nation, where the area police boss is saying that the matatu tout was trying to either extort from the passenger or to steal from him. Yes.
And of course, that is a sad story as well. Of course, having whatever from now the story on the border break record, and of course it was called off.
Yes.
Now it's to the matatu. Of course, it's not a good thing, and Well, we don't expect that, of course, because I remember, you see, traveling with matatu sometimes it's a nice thing as well.
It's a good
I remember
thing.
there is something that was trending about what you miss when you don't travel in a matatu.
Yes.
I wish you could have just watched that clip. Of course, you shall say, oh, it's this fun. And those are some
Yes.
of the dramas that we experience on that. And on the page 23 of the Standard County News, we have we demolished homes, dug up graves, but no compensation yet. This is a story about people who are displaced by railway project during in Naivasha, and we have from the top of Kijabe Hills that's around the semi-arid Maimahiu and Longonot in Naivasha, that is Nakuru County, the snacking meter gauge railway, that is the MGR, is conspicuous, and we have passing through tens of farms and several trading centers. The 24-kilometer multi-billion railway line has been described as the economic game changer for the area that had been synonymous with sand harvesting and cattle rustling. And we have, however, despite its economic prospects, the 3.5 billion Kenya shillings project has left a lot of suffering in its wake, and all that the families affected by the project have known since its launch has been pain and regret. And of course, we have a story that is from demolishing their houses, opening graves, and destroying their trees. The residents are counting losses brought about by the new railway line that links the standard gauge railway in Maimahiu to the MGR in Longonot town. And of course, this story is very much well broken down with some of the other things that they did. Of course, it's graves relocating, and they were forced, of course, to relocate graves to pave way. But after doing all that, of course, even demolishing their own houses,
Yes.
cutting down their trees, no compensation has been made yet. And we have the Naivasha Member of Parliament, that is Jen Kihara, who spoke, and she said there were complaints that the contractor moved to the site and even started working on the project without the consent of the landowners. And at the same time, there were allegations of bribery for job seekers. This is a very sad story as well on the page 23 of the Standard newspaper.
And on world news, we have bodies of 17 migrants found off Tunisia coast. Now, the migrants were trying or attempting to reach Europe and have been found off Tunisia's northeast coast. And this is according to the Civil Defense of Forces. The bodies washed up off Cape Bon, a peninsula on the Strait of Sicily, between Friday and Saturday, and this is according to a spokesman, Moez Tria. The majority were from sub-Saharan Africa, but there were also Syrians, and without providing details on where they had set off from or the circumstances surrounding their deaths. And I was just looking at the numbers. 1,300 is the number of migrants who drowned or went missing in 2021 on the central Mediterranean route, making it the world's deadliest pathway. And still on matters migrant, also in Indonesia, a boat capsized and 2 dead and 26 missing in the boat accident. And this is in Indonesia. And you realize now those are so many deaths for migrants, because 17 bodies washed off the sea, that is in Tunisia, and in Indonesia 26 are still missing. Yes, and at least 2 people are dead and 26 others missing after a ferry carrying dozens of migrants sank off the coast of Indonesia, and this is according to an official. And the wooden fishing boat was carrying 89 people when it departed from neighboring Malaysia, but it sprang a leak soon after departing before being hit by strong waves and sinking. This is a story on both page 23 and 24 of the Daily Nation.
And on the page 30 of the Standard newspaper, that is under the Standard World News, you have Russia bombs at school housing 400 as thousands deported from Mariupol. And we have the Ukrainian president, that is Volodymyr Zelensky, said that Russia's siege of the port city of Mariupol was a terror that will be remembered for centuries to come. And while local authorities said thousands of residents there had been taken by force across the border. And we have the council also said that the Russian forces bombed Mariupol at school on Saturday, in which 400 residents had taken shelter, but the number of casualties were not yet known. And we have a Chinese foreign minister who said China's position is objective and fair and is in line with the wishes of the most countries, and that they will prove that China's claims are on the right side of history. And I have a person, of course, who is holding a banner that's saying "Stop Genocide in Mariupol." That's actually, that is their prayer as well, that is in support of the residents and defenders of Mariupol. A story on the page 30 of the Standard newspaper.
And on to business news right here on Morning Informant, we have EPZ paid 2 lawyers 87 million Kenya shillings before work. Now, this state corporation is on the spot for paying 2 lawyers 87 million Kenya shillings in advance to represent it in court without the Attorney General's approval. An audit report shows that the Export Process Zones Authority paid the pair 35 million Kenya shillings and 52 million Kenya shillings respectively without negotiating the legal fee. It shows negotiations began after EPZ parted with the cash. Now, the process of negotiating the fees started once the deposits were paid, and management did not provide evidence on how the engagement of the senior counsel was arrived at. This is a story on page 27 of the Daily Nation.
And on the page 27 of the Standard newspaper, you have the central bank eyes revamp of the Makiba to improve its uptake. A story that has been very much broken down from the number of people who registered their mobile money accounts in the pilot run conducted in March 2017 to the amount the Treasury has raised since 2017. That is on the page 27 under the Standard business and news.
And on my side, we have news eyes industrial area. Low-income workers and small traders in Nairobi's industrial area will have more options for banking and financial services following the licensing of a new deposit-taking SACCO in the region. Strategic DT SACCO, previously known as Strategic Urembo SACCO, recently got the nod of the sector's regulator, and this is the SACCO Society's regulatory authority, to start front office services, and it has opened its first banking hall at Lunga Lunga Square on Lunga Lunga Road. This is also a story on page 27 of the Daily Nation.
And also on the page 27 of the Standard, we have over 40,000 farmers to benefit from a 2 billion Kenya shillings Danish funded project, and we have more than 40,000 farmers spread across 13 countries are set to benefit from a value chain supportive initiative courtesy of Micro Enterprise Support Program Trust, that is the MEST. And the 5-year program launched on Thursday last week at KTL Farm in Birunda, Trans Nzoia County, until support to farmers to access to financing, increasing farmers' commercial enterprises, the introduction of green transformation, and improved food safety. Still on the page 27 of the Standard newspaper.
And now getting sporty right here on Morning Informant. Ngonjo, we have a win from the Mwamba Rugby Club, and it has attributed its success to the first edition of the Women's Kenya Cup season to a functional attack and defense system. Mwamba's coach Joseph Babu has also attributed the team's success to big support from the team's management, which arranged for a good pre-season training, saying it made the players fit and effective. On Saturday, Kenya International Center Janet Okello touched down a brace of tries to help Mwamba beat Impala Sarkens 15-11 and win the title at the Impala Sports Club in Nairobi. Mwamba, who led a 10-3 at the break, scored 3 unconverted tries against Impala's try and 2 penalties. This is a story on page 40 of the Daily Nation.
And on the page 38 of the Standard newspaper this morning, we have On Your Marks, Athletic Superstars Make a Run at Politics on August 9. This is a story about sportsmen who actually went into politics, or even who are still actually on the line of politics. And this story is very much broken down on the pages 38 and 39 of the Standard newspaper this morning. morning.
And on my side, we have Rupia and Makwata score against their former teams in the match played at Nyayo Stadium. Strikers Elvis Rupia and John Makwata yesterday struck against their former sides as AFC Leopards and Kenya Police drew 1-1 in a Football Kenya Federation Premier League match played at Nyayo National Stadium yesterday. In the entertaining clash of two halves, Rupia set Police on the path to victory with a 35th minute strike, but substitute Mkwata rescued a point for Leopards when he scored from the spot on 82 minutes of the game. A story on page 42 of the Daily Nation.
And on the page 40, that is the last page of the Standard newspaper today, we have Chelsea. We would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. And no matter the opponent, no matter the competition, Chelsea's players are managing to maintain their on-field focus amid a troubling period for the club. And it's now 6 straight wins since the Russian billionaire, that is owner Roman Abramovich, announced he would be selling the London club, with Chelsea swatting aside a second tier. Middles brought in a 2-0 win to reach the FA Cup semi-finals on Saturday. And we have a punchline from Thomas Tuchel, that is the Chelsea's manager, who is saying, I feel a responsibility because there are people who are worried, who are not in the spotlight, and my players and staff are privileged, but we are concerned. There are 700 or 800 people working at Chelsea, and I may be existentially worried about what will happen at the club. A story on the last page of the Standard newspaper this morning.
Okay, and now Ngonjo, we have a new viewer here from Abuja, Nigeria, and they're saying Political Monday, hashtag Morning Informant. Good morning, I am tuned in from Abuja, Nigeria. You people inform me very, very well. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And we send so much love to Abuja, Nigeria.
Of course, and so much welcome on the Morning Informant.
And on that note, maybe you tell us from your side how it looks like.
Yes, I know. Of course, on my side, I have good Morning Informant. It's Jose Wazimo saying I'm tuned in for Leo Mbogi Haiko. Thank you very much, Jose Wazimo. Of course, I just like how he makes his comments daily.
Yes.
And thank you very much. And of course, I have a different person who's saying good morning, Christine and Gonjo. My name is Njoki, and I'm watching you guys from Kitengela. Thank you very much for tuning in as well this morning.
And news just coming in on the situations on our roads. We have on Mayanja Road towards Outer Ring Donholm, there is a lot of traffic, and this is because of an accident that has happened on that side of Mayanja Road. And this is just coming in right now. So this seems today it's quite a little bit of activities there on our roads with some of the accidents happening. But remember, as we said, we will keep you updated on all that happens on our roads every other morning right here on Morning Informant.
And of course, maybe there is also another hectic story that is giving people, that is a hectic time, that is on the Kasarani area, and that is, of course, that is on the Thika Road gridlock section that causes inbound jam, that is from Pangani till Kasarani. Of course, there is always traffic congestion on the area. And of course, the Kenya National Highways Authority and still the government of Kenya is always asked what is their plan as well to try to solve this Thika Road gridlock section that is always causing an inbound jam from Pangani till Kasarani. That is still on that place, that is on the Thika Road this morning. But now traffic has of course opened up. Earlier on it was from the area near the drive-in, but from now the traffic is only in the area near Fimathare area 4 all the way to Pangani. A little bit traffic on your way to town, but from town there is no traffic at all.
And now it looks like on Mombasa Road it's still building up. It was a little bit lighter before, but now it is building up. And the Syokimau area, there is quite a lot of traffic on that side as well. And also, as you go down to Mlolongo area, we have a lot of traffic. It looks like the canter that had overturned has been worked on, and doesn't appear to cause a lot of traffic. But in that other area, it is building up. On Eastern Bypass, it is looking hectic as well. And I remember we have one of our viewer here who said, on Eastern Bypass, wako bumper to bumper, and it looks like it's quite building up on Eastern Bypass this morning.
Of course, it's on the Limuru Road. There is a little bit traffic from the survey area to Muthaiga, because of course we can see complaints coming in that some people of course spend 20 minutes with no movement. That is on the Muthaiga service extending to survey. There is a little bit traffic. Maybe if you can just have a reroute on the area, you can just use a different route. That is on the survey area on the Muthaiga Road this morning.
Yes, and on that note, we take another break, and when we come back, we will come with the topic of discussion. And today we are looking at youth and politics, the age of a number of aspirants who want to have given their bid to vie for political seats right here in Kenya, and also what the youth are saying about it, and what the voters are also saying about it, and what they want, because it seems like they want young people to be elected into seats.
Of course,
yes,
because you've seen youths in different counties in the country saying that this time around they want to try their own, they want to try their fellow young person to see what they have for them.
Yes, yes, and that is what we'll be discussing today. Please keep the conversation rolling, and you can also be part of this conversation by sending in your comment or your views on our social media platforms. That is at Shani TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram.
And a platform number that you can use to join in our conversation as we keep it flowing this morning is 0706083050. Just feel free to help us get your feedback on the line here on Morning Informant, today being #Political Monday.
Don't go too far. We'll be back. And before the break, we were discussing about the youth and politics right here in Kenya. And now we just need to identify what has been happening so far with our political realm. And this is when we come to elections and campaigns as well. And we have seen people who are asking for some of them, and they want their own, someone who has grown up with them and they have hustled together to be in that political seat. Ngojo.
Yes, and of course we've seen young men and women who are actually aspiring to become different leaders. You see in Kenya, beginning from the MCAs to the members of parliaments to the senators, governors, and maybe to the president as well, not forgetting the woman representative as well. So we have different people aspiring to become different leaders in different areas. Of course, they can be the MCAs, they can be the members of parliament. And remember, today we are just actually being specific, that is on the youths and politics. What exactly some of the young people we have were actually aspiring to be different people in the country.
Yes.
Of course, I remember we saw just a few days ago, of course, we saw a youngest man that is 20 years
20
old,
years old,
who's actually
yes.
aspiring to become an MCA in one of the countries that is on the eastern region in the country. And of course, today there is always sampling here on Monday, Morning Informant being hashtag Political Monday.
Yes, and of course, we have some of the comments that are coming in already, because now we like to hear what you have to say about that. And I can see on our Twitter handle, good morning, Morning Informant. I would vote 100 times for a young person like me, because they understand what we go through, unless they are prone to change because of the political power that they now have.
Yes, and of course on my line I have good morning, Morning Informant. Say hi to Gonzo. Of course it's me here. And yes, maybe I just say hi to Christine. And of course you're saying that I would rather also vote for a young person, even though I'm not young, because we've tried the older ones. It's a good thing we just tried the other one. You don't know what the Lord can do using the young people.
Yes.
Of course, there is a Jane from Limuru.
And now we have another one here. Good morning, Morning Informant. Of course, youth are the best people to elect, but again, we also have to look at who we are electing as youth, because they might not represent us very well, and they might go to the political seats to grow themselves politically and also financially. And it is quite sad that yesterday we lost a businessman and a political MCA aspirant in Kiambu area. Wow, this is quite sad. Yes.
And of course, in myself, have good morning, Morning Informant. My name is Grace. I don't think we need to elect young people. All that we need to do is to give them some just few seats in the government, so that they can just blend in with the old people we have.
Yes, and now we just need to have some facts with us as well, because approximately 75% Ngonjo of Kenya's population are under 35 and 40 years of age, and are under 15. Actually, they are under 15. That is under 35, and 40% are under 15. So if 75% are under 35, then this means that they are the largest group we have so far. And if 40 of those people are under 15, then that means, of course, maybe they may not make a political decision because they cannot vote.
Sure.
That is number one. But again, for this who have under 75%, this is a very large group, because the other 25% is over 40, over 40 years of age.
Yes.
So this means the young and vibrant are the largest in Kenya right now. Yes.
And of course, it's as usual, maybe in the most of the countries, especially in Africa, just to see the young people, the young, from the graph, you can tell the young people are more than the old people. And of course, in Kenya, being in the list as well, we as the youths, the young people, we are the majority. And of course, that is why today we just decided to look on that angle, because we've seen on the most of the previous, of course, even with the leaders that we have in the office, most of them, they are not the young people. Of course, it doesn't mean that they don't deliver because they're old, because there is no insurance that because you're a young person, or maybe you're a fellow youth like I am, doesn't mean that you're gonna deliver as well. But sometimes, as from the views we're getting this morning, we're just getting to know that it's a good thing to try another different plan. That is why we've seen even youths in some of the counties in the country, and just by a few to mention, in Kajiado County, yesterday we saw the young people saying that this time round they're gonna try their own to see what maybe they can do.
And maybe because we have that video, it is about that time, we play that video, and you also look at it and give us also your views and your feedback on that, and be part of this conversation about youth and politics.
Live in a beach life city, enjoying coastal lifestyle with a cool breeze and ocean tides as you watch the sunset. In Malindi, touching the Kilifi Watamu bypass, sitting just 100 meters off the white sandy beach, in a gated and controlled development next to Malaika Beach Hotel. Finca Properties Limited offers you a 50 by 100 plot for only 1.5 million shillings. Electricity and water is available on site. This property is ideal for residential homes, cottages, holiday homes and hotels. For inquiries, bookings and reservations, SMS the word plot to 40309 or call us on 0721 737 300 or visit our website at www.finca.co.ke. Come to our offices in Kitengela Town, Pena Towers, Suite B6. Title deeds are ready. Finca Properties Limited, prime and affordable.
We seek to answer all your questions on social, political, and economic issues without bias, because that is the whole point of journalism.
From our English news desk, we expect to meet your expectations to the latter.
Current trends in politics, international and sports news are as credible as the reporter. We have the courage to tell our news stories, not being immune to criticism.
I, Melissa Kialo, will be bringing you News at 1.
For objective news on Newsplug, join me, Christine Mutindi.
And Gonzo Maina every day at 9 p.m. only on Shani TV, the true mark of Kenya.
And we're still looking at youth and politics. We want to hear what you have to say, because I know, as we have said, 75% are under 35 years of age. And this is the prime time for decision making as well.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that's why you are, me and you, maybe if you're a young person, that is why you've made that to pave, or you've just paved a way to just see what the young people can do in the country. And not only from the young people, we've also actually witnessed this from the older people that is in the country as well, saying, why can't we just give it a try and see what the young people has for us? Because it doesn't mean that the people, because you're a young person, you're not informed as well. You can have an idea, but sometimes because you don't have that platform, you wonder, how can I just chip in something that you're not there? But when you're in the office, there is a possibility you might or might not be able to actually deliver what you're supposed to deliver, maybe tell what you have.
Yes, and of course, now most of these youth leaders, they want to engage in politics so that they can have development futures for development of ideas for the future. Because of course at this time they have very great ideas, and as you have seen, we have in MCA's aspirants in Nakuru County, they are degree holders and PhD holders. So this means that they are well informed and they are educated enough to even lead a county. And of course they will look at the features and also the needs of the people and the voters as well of that specific county. And of course we are just reading some of the comments as we get to understand what happens with the youth right here in Kenya when it comes to politics. And on my side I have in Kenya, we need good morning, Morning Informant. My name is Njogu, watching you from Kitengela. And we need a platform as youth where we can organize, generate ideas, and voice our opinions without the interference of power. And that is what we lack mostly right here in Kenya. And this is just one of one of our viewers who's telling us what they feel about politics, youth, and politics.
And on my side, I have good morning, Morning Informant. My name is James, watching you guys from Kilelesho, and he's saying it's another time we take the youth seriously as politically important actors.
And these are just some of the comments coming in. You can also be part of this conversation by sending in your view and your comment on our Facebook page. Our social media handles are at Shani TV on Facebook, on Twitter, on YouTube, and on Instagram.
And our SMS platform number, our platform generally number is 0706 083 050. Remember, you can join the number, you can use the number and join in our conversation today, being hashtag Political Monday, or even help us get you feedback, because we are really indeed here for you. And this being our two-way traffic, we need to hear your feedback as well.
Yes, and now Ngonjo, research suggests that when young people are involved in political leadership of the nation, they are likely to participate and in elections and uphold the constitution. And the participation of youth and politics in Kenya, the reason why we chose this discussion is because it has been regarded as minimal. And this shows that there is lack of robust inclusion in the planning and execution of political decisions, Ngonjo. So this is why we chose this topic, just to want to look at what has been happening to our youth. Where is there exclusion when it comes to political leadership, to political decisions? Where is there exclusion? Yes, and also youth would benefit from easily accessible information about the political intentions of their leaders and activate engagement in future development initiatives. And now the process will open, and we need to processes to open avenues for youth in Kenya to share their challenges, encourage the others to participate in electoral processes, and be in positions to contribute to future development planning.
And of course, we have some of the qualities as to why Christina, the young people have been sometimes preferred to be the leaders. Because, and one of the things that are making them, of course, be preferred as well is, apart from the rest of the list, is being that is vibrant, young, and energetic. You see, a young person We are not saying that the ones they don't have the energy, but from what we can see, it just come to the most of the works being done in the country. We see the young people, of course, come out in numbers, and if of course we have the young people taking approximately the 75%, as you've just said. Of course, there is a lot of votes, and of course, if the young people just decide all over the country and say we just need this young person, of course, there is a sure bet they can, of course, make that person become whatever they want. But it's still on the same side, sometimes being young, and the generation that we have, of course, there are some key challenges that the young people, if by any chance they get to lead the country by themselves, there are some of the challenges they might face, and that is why some of the comments came in. And there is someone who said that we don't need to elect the young people alone, but of course we need just a few of them to blend in the government, even with the experienced ones that we have.
Yes, and on that note, we have a look at the video we had told you earlier about Kajiado youth and what they are saying about a youth leader for the next seat.
Kwa njia ni kwamba barabara ni mbovu. Barabara mimi siwezi kukuambia hiyo barabara iliundwa lini.
Hata watu wanalipa.
Iliundwa miaka 10 ambayo ilipita. Kumaanisha sasa yule yako kwenye kiti mambo ya barabara amefanya zero work, na yeye mwenyewe anaishi hapa. Hata mahali yeye anapitia, muona sisi iko roadblock, iko mzee ameweka roadblock ya vijiti hapo ama gogo fulani hapo aweze kulipisha, sababu barabara imedivert ikapitia kwa shamba lake.
Na tukishikana pamoja na governor wetu Lengo, tunaweza kufanyia county hii ama watu wa Kajiado county kazi nzuri katika hali ya maendeleo. So hiyo ndio kitu imenifanya nisifanye town, nifanye mashinani, ili watu waone ya kwamba hata hapa mashinani watu wanaweza wakafanya kazi, na wanaweza pia ni watu ambaye wako na ile haja ya kufanya kazi.
Unasikia kijana anaenda kutafuta kazi kwa memusi, anapatiwa kazi ya security. Na kijana amesoma, na kijana kuna degree ama kijana kuna diploma, anaenda kupatiwa kazi ya watchman. Sisi kama vijana wa Kajiado Central tumeteseka, hata tumekuwa desperate. Hatuna mbunge, barabara zetu zote zile za kera. Ukitoka kuanzia hii barabara tumepita kuanzia barabara zetu ya kera kutoka Bisi Lukuje hapa, hakuna barabara, hakuna pahali unakuta barabara iko mzuri. Hata hii barabara ndio hiyo mheshimiwa anatumianga.
And those are just some of the views that we have. And of course, Nkonjo, I don't know, what do you think about that?
Of course, it's something that we need to revisit as well. It requires a lot of it. But of course, I don't have anything more to say on that.
Yes.
Of course, those are just some of the young people in Kajiado County.
Yes.
Of course, they had their say yesterday that this time around, they're going to try their own. And of course, they want to see what they have for them, what exactly they can do. Because you see, when someone changes their mind, that tries they have that means they have tried it from a different angle, and sometimes there is no offense in taking a different lane, and if you think that is the best lane for you, it's a good thing. You just give it a try.
And it looks like also even some of the much older people, and this is the 25% that we were speaking about, because we said that 75% are under 35 years of age, but it looks like also the 25% also believe that even the youth can be given a chance to prove themselves and prove active.
Sure.
Yes, when it comes to political leadership.
Exactly, and it's worth it, of course.
Yes.
Because it's a good thing we give also the young people and see what they have for us. If they fail us as well, we just know what not to do and what to do next time.
Exactly. And maybe we also continue just looking at youth and politics right here on Morning Informant. Today being hashtag Political Monday, we want to take it to the youth this time and just to get to understand what is it. And we have also here, Kenyan youth have demonstrated lack of political interest and knowledge about electoral processes, voting rights, and the electoral system at large. And it has reduced their participation in Kenyan's elections over the years. And young people are often politically marginalized because of age, lack of experience, and resources. Yes.
And we have significant obstacles for young people in Kenya in political participation are at individual, organization, and structural levels. And the process will actually seek to reduce individual obstacles such as distrust in political institutions, the conviction of a weak democracy, and social political exclusion. And you see, by having, of course, a human-centered design approach to this process, we have different youth stakeholders who will be trained in the persona creation exercise that will lead to a better understanding of the characteristics, motivations, challenges, and aspirations of Kenyan youth.
And we just need to understand what they need, what has not been done, what is there something that has been done or not done yet for the youth to participate in political meetings, political processes, understanding the need to be a political leader. Yes,
and of course, maybe it has been done before, because of course I think we've just maybe one or two, but now this time around, as they are saying, they want to try maybe a bigger multitude, maybe from the rest of the few we have already in the government, we have like delivered, and that it's a good thing they try maybe a large amount, not the whole government, but at least some a considerable percentage in the government.
And of course, on that note, maybe I look Ngonjo, there is a comment here that has come in from on our Twitter handle, and this is from Peter Kuria. Good morning, I am watching you from Valley Road. Bureaucrats. Where do young Kenyan fit when bureaucrats are full in the offices and in the political arena? Even when you are a young person and you want to be a political leader, you have to have a godfather holding your hand in politics to introduce you and to assure the other bureaucrats and all the people that you can actually work as a political leader. Wow. This is from Peter Korea, and maybe before we go to other comments, I don't know what is your view on that when it comes to bureaucrats. This means that the only trusted people who have been there for years are the ones who are still there.
Exactly. And that is something that is very much evident in the country, and I think we thank just our third view, of course, for just tuning in this morning, and of course letting us open up about this, of course. And that is something that has been there, of course, that you need a person in the first place, a godfather to hold your hand. And of course, we've seen a lot of, I don't want to say old, because age is just but a number, but let a reality be called. Let's call a spade a spade, a spoon a spoon. And we don't do just fake things, of course. And maybe, Christine, on that as well, we've seen it very much evident, of course. But if you're delivering it as a person, age doesn't mean anything. But sometimes you see this person is not delivering, but he has been there for years and years and years. Why can't these people just pave way for the young people? Where do you want the young generation in Kenya to go? Where do you want your grandchildren, grandchildren to go? Especially if you're just still in the same position, doing nothing about it.
And on that note, you can actually advise from the side. You don't have to be there literally.
Of course.
You can advise while you're from the side. And maybe if we quote what Deputy President yesterday said, when he was quoting the Bible, he said, the largest inheritance you can leave is to your children's children. And maybe we can put it not in terms of money as well. We can put it in terms of political decisions. The agendas that are there, the developments that are there for the young people.
Yes, and of course, Christine, as you've just said, but the problem that we have in the country, unfortunately, everyone wants actually to be on the camera. No one wants actually to be behind the scenes. Of course, everyone wants to be noted. And that is the problem that we're facing as the country. It doesn't mean that actually you need a recognition being seen. Of course, you can do your things behind, and of course, the impact, you see, what we need in the country is not the author of the book, but the impact the book has.
Exactly.
That is all we need in the country.
Exactly.
The impact is more important than whoever wrote the content, and that is what we are saying. You do not need to lead from the front page. You can also just play your role behind the scenes, and of course the impact will speak on its behalf. And maybe if I can just get to sample some of the comments coming on my line this morning. We have #Political Monday. Good morning, Morning Informant. watching you guys from Kayole, Nyamavila. Youths should be given opportunities to exercise their leadership ability as far as politics is concerned, and though they should be ready to be mentored well, because it's not easy out there. That is hashtag Jackie B. Thank you for tuning in this morning.
And of course, on our Facebook page, I have Honorable H. Again. This is always my happy place. Good morning, my informers. Well, good morning to you too. And we are happy that you are happy. Yes.
Sure.
Yes. And we have Kevin MC Omolo, South Sudan, loud and clear. Political policies in our country is not for the faint-hearted. Wow. Yes.
Wow, that is interesting. And of course, I have a different person say, good morning, morning informant. It's Josephine from Githurai, and she's saying global youth voices should be helped to aggregate the voices of the young people in Kenya from a diverse range of sources.
And on my side, that is on our Twitter handle, I have someone here, Janet Keeley. Good morning, morning informant. Hashtag political Monday youth. She said hashtag political Monday, hashtag youth and politics. Now, I think youth in Kenya have a problem with trusting the political institutions. And this is because of what the politicians have done before, and they tend to do it over and over again. And this is why the youth focus on hustling instead of voting in political leaders, forgetting that politics is part of their growth and development. Wow. Politics is part of our development and our growth, because of course even us right here, we are youth.
Of course.
Yes.
We're just in that category. You see, you have not let them know who a youth is. Of course, there is a range on in terms of age, and maybe when we say we are youth, it doesn't mean, you see, there is you can be 40 and still be a youth. You can still be 35, but in Kenya, the range actually, we shall let you know where the range is. Maybe you're watching us.
18 to 35.
And of course, maybe you're saying, I'm 35, I'm not. You're a young man.
You're a young person,
Even if you're married, you're still two married youths.
So the range is 18 to 35, and this is when it comes to the youth. And this is the 75% we are talking about.
Of course.
And that's still on our Twitter handle. I have someone else here. And this is from Alex. And Alex says, good morning, morning informant. The problem, and the biggest problem at that, is in Kenya, youth are not defined. You find a man who is 60 years old and he is in a youth meeting. He is also politically involved and claiming to be a youth and representing the youth. When he was young, where was he to be a politician? They should just vacate the seats and let youthful and more young people with potential sit on those seats. And this is according to Alex.
And of course, on my side, I have Njoki saying, good morning, morning informant. The Kenya's entire youth are ambitious in helping and supporting individuals and different organizations in the country. That is Njoki's view this morning.
And as we continue, we have someone had said, and that is Janet Kelly. She had talked about mistrust from the political institutions. I don't know, Ngonjo, representative of youth juries maybe, and they develop tailored manifestos, and they help democratize our democracy beyond the election period. And probably this is what causes the political mistrust among the bodies by the youth.
Of course. And that is the question we're supposed to ask ourselves this morning. Why exactly do they have to develop that mistrust? Because they cannot develop the mistrust without a reason. Of course, there is the reason behind everything, and that is all we need to look for. Sometimes we just look at the petty issues, but we don't really tackle the roots of everything.
Yes. So if you want to deal with a problem, you look at it from the root.
Exactly.
Yes, and from our root in youth in Kenya.
That is all that we need to tackle, because sometimes we just say, no, our youths are being used maybe to demonstrate, our youths are being paid, but why exactly? Or if they were busy, maybe they could not be that idle. That is what we mean exactly by saying they've been used by politicians. And that is the very thing that we should tackle as a country, and that is why this time round I'm just keeping on emphasizing that. This time around, they've just said they want to raise their own and their fellow. Of course, just to see what they have for the country. And the youth leaders, of course, the adult supporters, and the youth serving organization, political parties, civil societies, religious institutions as well, and key youth development stakeholders are actually joining in building young people's skills, knowledge, and confidence, with actually helping them more effectively express their voices.
And on my side, maybe I just look, there's one here that has come in, and this is from Linda Nasha. Good morning, Morning Informant. This is my 2 cents of sense. A young person cannot be used by a politician unless they want to be used. So even for those receiving money, they want to receive that money and they want to cause violence, forgetting that these politicians' children are very well set up even for the future with money in their accounts and in private and secure homes. But we foolishly go to the front line, pick stones for 500 Kenya shillings. And this is where we need to work on even before we become leaders. We have to have we have to put on the clothes or the armor of confidence and information so that we cannot be used, and learn to say no.
Wow.
That is according to Linda Nasha.
That is interesting this morning.
Yes.
And of course, I have Good Morning Informant. This time round, we choose to increase youth participation in this year's elections, promote their ownership in societal development, and actually hold the political leaders accountable in the next 5 years. That is actually JMO watching us from Ruaka this morning.
And these are just some of the comments that are coming in right here on our social media handles as well as our SMS line. And this is in connection to youth and politics. Where have we gone wrong? What are we not doing right that we're supposed to do? Why is the exclusion happening? Yes.
And another thing about it, why can't we just pave a way for the young people in the country and of course allow them to venture in the political arena as well, and of course see what they have for us to maybe in the country, because as from what we've seen, maybe they have the capability of delivering, of course, in the country, and that is why this all lies in the hands of the young people in the country, and not only from the 75% of the young people in the country, but even from the 25% of the people. Also, there are some of the people saying, no, this time round we should just try our sons and daughters, our younger brothers and sisters, maybe to see what they have for the country, because we also need a country that is actually balanced when it comes to government creation.
Yes, and I don't know, maybe this is just what I'm thinking. Is it because they do not trust the youth enough to represent a country? Is that why the bureaucrats are still sitting in their offices? We still see leaders as old as 80 years, 70 something years, and they are vying for political seats. Does it mean that they do not have trust, or even we as voters? Is it that we do not trust even those some of our youth leaders out there?
Maybe sometimes there's a kind of mistrust at the same time, but
well.
maybe sometimes if you're not willing to leave that seat, how can I sit there, Christine? Unless you just move out of the office, I sit there. Sometimes I can just decide I'm sitting here the whole day. But if the next person just wants to come in, where will he or she sit down?
Exactly.
There is no possibility. Sometimes that is the kind of thing we are having in the country. Someone is seated on the seat, chains himself with padlocks and all sorts of chain that you cannot even try to get this person out of the city, doing nothing on that seat, just relaxing and doing nothing about it. Of course, it's all that maybe you can just, because of lack of a better word, you can just call it greed for power. Of course, I just want to be Christine, want to be seen here. Gonjo Maina wants to be seen here daily. And of course, sometimes it's not the best idea. But of course, we've seen other people, of course, say, no, I'm tired of this thing. I need to pave in a way for the young people, maybe in my county, in my constituency, maybe even in my ward as well. I just want to see what they can do.
And of course, as we are looking at that also, we just like to give you the info that we have John Paul Murigi, and he is a member of parliament for Igembe South constituency, and he was born 7th of January 1994. So this means he's only 23 years of age.
1990?
1994.
That is 28, sorry.
Sorry, he's 28 years of
Yeah, of
age.
course.
And he looks like he is a member of, yes, he's 28 years of age, and he is the youngest so far right now, and that is in Meru County. Yes.
And of course, as we had said earlier on, we have also another 20 years old. That is, if I'm not wrong, that is in Makwen County, if I'm not wrong, where he's actually vying for the award. That is the member of the county assembly. That is the MCA. 20 years of age.
Yes.
That is actually a person who has a big dream. At the age of 20 years, even the leaders some of the leaders that we have in the office, maybe they were just some governors somewhere in their campuses, but now having been 20 years of age and actually aspiring to become a member of a county assembly, that is a ward, a representative, that is not a joke. Of course, that is a person who has the leadership qualities, and of course with confidence in himself as a person as well.
And just to clarify, Paul Murigi was elected when he was 23 years of age.
Oh.
Yes. That is in 2017.
So right now he's 28.
Right now he's 28.
He served 5 years.
He has served for 5 years, and he was elected when he was 23 years of age. So at that time, he was the youngest serving member of parliament.
23
years of
Of course,
age.
that is history breaking. Very young.
Very young, of course.
But has he not achieved it?
He has.
Of course, 5 years down the line, that is why we said age is just but a number.
Yes, as long as you are mature enough to make political decisions in favor of the youth. Yes, and you can actually be an aspiration to even some of the upcoming leaders as well. Yes, and maybe we also we have others as well who are promising, young and promising. We have Johnston Sakaja as well.
Of course.
Young and promising as well. They have already shown us that they can manage that as well. And he is the Nairobi County Senator, and that is Johnston Sakaja. We have Calvin Shaban. Calvin Shaban, who was at the forefront of Jubilee campaigns, and he is a coordinator of Mbele Iko Sawa campaign. He is also very aspiring as well, and he's young and vibrant. And these are just some of the youth that we have out there.
Yes, and of course, the big question is, have they not delivered? They have, of course.
Of course they have. And we have also, everyone knows, we have Embakasi East MP Paul Ongili, alias Babu Owino.
Exactly.
Yes.
Has he not delivered?
He has.
He has. Of course,
Yes.
it's not a matter of age. And of course, we need different organizations which, of course, can help the young people in the country. And surprisingly enough, Christine, we have over 62 youth organizations in the country. And of course, networks that are actually playing a role of being foundational documents to frame the young people, that is, to develop their own agendas.
And we have 62. There are 62
They're
youth, over 62. Wow, that is quite very interesting as well.
Of course.
And now, as we are speaking about the youth and politics, when we look at politics, maybe not in Kenya as well, we have another one here, and she is Wambui Nyutu, and she is only 26 years of age. And not only, she has not traversed Kenya alone, she has also been in the U.S. Democratic 2016 presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, and she is eyeing the position in Murang'a County, but she was also very active in the presidential campaigns for Hillary Clinton.
Wow, that is interesting. 26 years of age.
26 years of age.
Very young.
Very young. And we also have someone else here, and he is Eddie Okech. And Eddie Okech is the man who has threatened to poke holes into Raila Odinga's popularity in Nyanza, and giving ODM senatorial candidate Migori County's by-election Ochilo Ayako a run for his money. And he is also as well young at 27 years of age. So we're just giving you some of this. And we have also Kasarani MP Mercy Wanjiku, and she was 24 when she began her journey into leadership and governance in Christian forums. So as we said, we have over 62 youth forums.
Of course.
So an example is right here, Kasarani MP. She began her leadership in a youth forum.
Yes.
And now she is an MP as well. So this means that you can blossom your career politically as a young person.
Of course,
yes.
There is a possibility. And maybe we can just get to sample a comment here. It says that Kenyans, good morning, Morning Informant. and saying that Kenyans go to the polls for the country's general elections with mixed feelings of trepidation and hope. But this fear comes from concerns over the potential fresh outbreaks of political and tribal violence. But we don't consider who we want in the next 5 years. Those are just some of the comments. And of course, having mixed feelings, you're not sure about what you're going to do as a person. That is why when you just find your finger and your pen landing to the wrong person, and we come here complaining all over social media, we've just put politicians in office, and we've been emphasizing on this, Christine, every now and then. I remember it's from very long time ago, and now that we are just 5 months to these general elections, please, it's your duty as a person, and we and I, it's of course you as a person to make sure you put the right leader in office. And that is why the young people this time around, they've just decided that they want young people, their fellow leaders, of course, because you have leaders and the young people.
Yes, and of course on my side I have Jen Chege. How are you, my morning informant? We are very, very fine. We hope you're fine too, Jen Chege.
Of course we are.
And now, because it is 7 minutes to the top of the hour, and that shows that it is time for us to be living in 7 minutes. Maybe we just have a last look at our traffic updates this morning before we leave the studios, and just we need to tell you of all the activities, the incidents and the accidents, as well as we always do right here on Morning Informant, and just to know how you're doing. Have you gotten to work yet safely? Is there traffic on your end as well? Yes.
And of course, because you're a very, very important person, that is why we always make sure you're safe as you're driving, as you're being driven as well, maybe to your different places in the country, especially in the morning. That is why we always tell you where to pass through and where to avoid, because we don't want you to get wherever you're going late in the morning.
Yes, and of course, maybe I start on my side. Maybe I cannot see any other incidences or accidents, but I can see that on Eastern Bypass it has started clearing up a little bit, and this is on the way to town. It is clearing a little bit, and on Kamukunji, and this is on Jogo Road. Makadara, there is a little bit of traffic there, just in Makadara, but in Kaloleni, Mbotela, Shaurimoyo, it is as clear as possible. And this is going into town, getting into town. I do not see any activities, accidents or incidents on that road. Yes.
And on the Thika Road side, this morning it has as well opened up on the area near Utalili, and of course there is no traffic, but as you approach the Pangani area, there is a little traffic though flowing, that is on your way to town, but from town no traffic at all. Maybe on the side of Kiambu Road, no traffic, as the CID area are just a little flowing traffic. Of course there is low traffic, and maybe as you just come to approach the Karura close this morning, a little bit traffic. The only traffic evident is as you just approach the Pangani area, that is from the Kiambu Road side of it, and maybe in the Murang'a Road no traffic at all, just a little bit traffic that is witnessed at the Globe flyover as you approach the Nairobi Central. Of course there is a little bit traffic, but not that hectic. The only place where the traffic is hectic, that is as usual on the Globe flyover.
And on Kangundo Road, it is quite clear. It is green. This means that there is no traffic, and a little bit of orange. This means that there is traffic, but moving at a very good pace. The only place that we have a little bit of snarl up is as you approach Umoja Phase 1, as the just near the Umoja Phase 1 outer ring subway station. That is the only place where I can see a little bit of traffic there on Kangundo Road. But on the other side, all the way up to New Njiru town, it is as clear as possible in Chereni, in Buruburu. And once you get to Kangundo Road in Sukari Ranch, that is where I can see a little bit of traffic there, but it is slowly moving as well.
Yes, and on this side of Langata Road this morning, there is only a traffic congestion at the Deliverance Church area. There is the Kanis, and there is on the Langata Road. Any area from that, slow traffic though moving. Another traffic at the Wilson Airport, that is near the Wilson Airport. On your way to town, there is a traffic, there is a continuous red line. But as you come to join the roundabout with Mbagathi Way this morning, it's flowing as well. On the Mbagathi Way near high rise traffic as well. And Another traffic as well is actually witnessed at the roundabout as you just come to join with Valley Road. But on the Valley Road this morning, no traffic, very much flowing on the way to town and from town. But at the Kenyatta Avenue, slow traffic moving as you approach the central business district, that is the CBD this morning.
And on Mombasa Road, Mombasa Road seems to be hectic every other morning. As you approach Mlolongo, and this is in Musau Road, there is traffic there all the way, and it opens up as from Beijing Police Road and Kuch Road. And once you get to Lone View Access Road, there is traffic there, and the traffic starts there and ends at Syokimau Katani Road. And as you move ahead again, and this is going into town, and once you get to Syokimau and the connection to Old Mombasa Road, there is traffic there as well, and this is in Syokimau Airport Road. There is traffic there as well, and then it opens up all the way to Mudama Road and all the way to connection to Old Mombasa Road. Today is quite clear, but as you connect to Airport North Road, there is traffic there. In Imara Daima, as always, there is a continuous red line there all the way up to Masai Road. It is a red line, an indication of traffic on that side, and this is on Mombasa Road. But on the other areas, it looks quite open. Next gen, as you connect to Likoni Road, quite clear. It is moving, and there is no traffic on that side.
And on the side of Ngong Road this morning, from the area that is near the Makindi Road Junction all the way to Oleduma Road Junction with the Ngong Road, there is traffic on your way to town. And there is no any other sign of a little bit hectic traffic. It's only at the junctions when you are joining two different roads, maybe on the junction between the Elgea Road and the Ngong Road, a little bit traffic as well. And the traffic is moving on the other parts of Ngong Road, and maybe a little bit traffic as you join Athimba Gathi way all the way to Valley Road. There is a little bit traffic at the roundabout though flowing as well this morning. That is on the Ngong Road. As that is on your way to town, but from town, no traffic at all on Ngong Road, very much passable this morning.
And as we conclude right here on Morning Informant, we just want to tell you, please, as a young person, ensure that you vote rightly and you're not misused by any political leader. And because we had a comment here that said only those people who want to be used can be used. And that is what we're saying. Please vote responsibly, be responsible. If you vote in a leader, and if you are also an aspirant and you're a young person, ensure that you represent your constituency very well. Be an example. Okay, just lead from the front, not from the back or the middle. Yes.
And of course, it's you as a person who knows what exactly you want. Not maybe sometimes wants are not that important as needs, but you as a person, you just know what exactly you need as a person. If you need a country that is being led by politicians, well and good, just go and do the necessary. But if you need a country that is being led by leaders who are really accountable and capable, and of course, who are able to lead the country into the right direction, just make sure you as well do the right thing.
And on that note, we leave the studio, but we wouldn't leave without thanking our sponsors who have enabled us to be here this morning, and that is Aqua World, and this is the best supplier of mineral water. In case you have an event, you have a wedding, any event that you want, you will get the best water only from Aqua World, and it can be customized as well. You can have your photo on the water bottle, and this is for remembrance as well. Anniversary, graduations,
maybe burials, weddings.
Yes, just have a different style, and you can only get this at Aqua World. And you can visit their website to get their information, more information, and their contacts as well, and that is aquaworldke.com. That is the website that you can visit, and you can order your water. Ask any questions that you have, and their contact is 0716 007 075. Maybe I take that again, 0716 007 075.
And maybe just remind you, this water comes in 500 ml, so 1 liter, that is 5 liters, 10 liters, and 20 liters. That is how actually they do. And just remind you again, this water is just a phone call away from your office, from your home, from from wherever you are, because you only need to make a call and you get the water at the doorstep.
And on that note, we also thank our director, our producer, our sound engineers, and all the people who have made this broadcast a success. And to you for watching us live and for commenting and being a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, so much. Have a blessed day. My name is Christine Mutindi.
And my name is Gonjo Maina. Bye-bye.